Hi, I'm Damon from Joie. I'm going to answer today one of the common questions that gets asked when comparing seatbelt driven seats versus ISOFIX seats. Now, one of the things with the seatbelt driven seat is we're using the vehicle seatbelt to fully restrain the entire child seat itself. So once the seat is installed, there's very little parts that aren't held by the actual seatbelt. So from a movement perspective, we'll still expect some movement on the seat shell itself, but in the event of a collision, provided it's tight at first install, the inertia seatbelt would engage, keeping all that well-fitted seat within the confines of the design itself. Difference when we move to an ISOFIX seat is the fact that we're using a rigid connection to the car's chassis. So when that's installed, we need a little bit more movement than we'll get on a seatbelt driven one because of it being a rigid connection. So up at the top of the seat shell, and especially when in rearward facing mode, we'll expect potentially 2 inches, somewhere around about there, so around about this much of movement, especially when we're dealing with rotating seats like the spin and the I-spins because of the amount of moving connections. Now, the point of why this movement is good is the event of a collision itself. So if I just rotate this seat around, you can see a little bit more as to what we're dealing with in the event of a collision. So if the entire seat was completely rigid, it'd be the child within it that would effectively move in the event of that side collision. Whereas with the seats themselves being able to move over, that will help dissipate some of the energy before the child comes into contact with the energy absorbing materials in the seat shell. When we're dealing with a belt driven seat, of course, that same scenario, but the seatbelt will stretch and absorb that energy gradually in the event of a collision, again helping to dissipate that energy before the child comes in contact with the energy absorbing materials at the side of the shell. So is my seat safe? Well, of course, on an ISOFIX one, we're looking for the indicator on the load leg, whether it's at the top or the bottom, to be in good contact with the vehicle floor. We're looking for no gap at this front section or a very, very small gap depending on the leg positions here. But what we don't want is, of course, any of these 3 indicators not to be green. So providing we've got contact at the rear and that rear ISOFIX is green and connected in, the load leg has got good connection. If, of course, it's a rotating seat, that's it, we're done, we've ensured we've installed it correctly. Whereas if we have an infant carrier, as well as ensuring that the front ISOFIX is connected, the load leg is in contact, we'll also have a further indicator here to tell you that the seat shell is connected to the seat shell correctly. So providing on those we've got the green indicators, the bit of movement is not a problem with regards to safe installation. That's actually a huge benefit in the respects of energy absorption with a rigid connection like ISOFIX. So hopefully that's allayed any fears and concerns that so long as you've got your green, you're good to go. Thank you.